When I met Kelsang Gamma in November 2024, I was quite horrified by the damage that had been done to her one arm from 21 years of dialysis treatment. And I asked her if she was on the waiting list for a cadaver transplant. She said she was too old, that there was no hope of her receiving a cadaver kidney transplant. So I asked her if she was looking for a living donor, and she said that she wasn't. Someone did offer a few years previously, but was discouraged by a partner at that time from following through. And I asked her if I could go with her to her next dialysis session. I knew nothing about dialysis. I'd never seen dialysis treatment, so I was quite curious. And she said, sure, one person was able to come and visit and observe the process. So I think it was the next day I did go along with her. And I was a little shocked by the trauma of dialysis treatment. There was a list of people, or there was a line of people all receiving dialysis. I had nothing much to do except watch, so I pulled out my phone and started asking Kelsang Gamma a few questions about her life, about her illness, and kind of did a spontaneous interview of her life, her ordination, and then when I offered to help her find a donor, to do what I could to help her find a donor. So I just decided to generally investigate that and try to find someone who might be able and willing to be her donor. It seemed to me quite strange that after 21 years on dialysis, knowing so many people, that she hadn't had an offer of a transplant from a donor. So when I got back to England, I investigated a little bit, tried to do some social media promotion looking for a donor. We did find two people who offered to be donors, but it didn't work out. They weren't suitable at that time. And I had ruled myself out as a donor because I was 75. And I assumed what I'd read and what the research I'd done online said that most donors were, I think, 18 or 16 or 18 to 65. That was the range. I thought I was way beyond that range. But eventually I did discover that they were doing transplants with people at my age and that they were successful and very helpful, lasting 15 years. So I realized that I had found a donor for Kelsang Gamma, and it was me. It only took me about 5 seconds to kind of contemplate that realization. Oh, I could be her donor. And 1 and 1 is 2. I am her donor. How could I be looking for a person to donate their kidney if I could do it? How could I not offer to be her donor? It was not a heroic or deeply contemplated decision. it was automatic. I contacted her, and eventually we did. Um, After a number of months to go through a couple of exhaustive medical tests to find out that I could be her donor. We're not the same blood type, so we're not ideal. But because of modern technology, um, it is possible for non ABO compatible people to um, be successfully transplanted. There's a process of, if the blood conditions are suitable enough, if there's a minimal possibility of rejection, there is a blood processing uh, process that can kind of minimize the possibility of rejection. So we decided that's what we could do, and we searched around the globe in different countries, looking at different options, opportunities, and eventually discovered that the most reasonably priced and uh, most reputable option was in Turkey. So we contacted Koç Hospital, were interviewed by the surgeon online, sent a number of tests so that they could generally ensure that we would match their criteria. And eventually the decision was made, probably 16 months, 18 months, somewhere in there, after we met, to travel off to Istanbul, which is where we are now. We just met the ethics committee today. After presenting them with a lot of documentation, we were interviewed by them, and they've determined, we believe, that um, this is a non-transactional transplant and that it's acceptable. So on Monday morning, in 3 days, Gamma will be readmitted and we'll begin the process. And hopefully within a week or two, the actual transplant will happen. We'll keep everybody updated. In the meantime, I came across two stories that are very inspiring that I'd like to share with people about um, donors. I'm hoping that my story of being a donor will possibly encourage another person to do so. And these two stories that I've come across, I think, might be helpful. So I'll put the links below, make them available to people, and hopefully someone else will be inspired to do what I'm doing. I also had a realization that even if something went wrong with calcined gamma's uh, suitability for the transplant, if for any reason they said, sorry, calcined gamma, we can't do this transplant, you're not healthy enough for you, it's not beneficial enough for you, that it would be impossible for me to imagine not going through the same process and offering one of my kidneys to somebody else. So in that potentiality, if that did happen, hopefully it doesn't happen, we'll carry through with this plan. But if it did happen, I think I would immediately just go to the transplant team and say, I'm ready, and perhaps you can find somebody else who might benefit from one of my kidneys. And that's the story to date.